Hey, what's happening? Ryan Adams here with the Adams Group. In the years I've been doing these real estate market updates for Sienna, I have never once been able to say, and not wanted to, that the Q1 average sales price dropped. And this is the year that I can, unfortunately, and that tells me something important about where this real estate market is heading. Ryan Adams with the Adams Group. I'm gonna break down, as I do every month, the real estate data for Sienna so you can see exactly what's happening in this community. No spin, no fluff, just the numbers, what they mean for you, and this is your Sienna market update for March 2026. As I always do, I compare March of 2025 to March 2026 each year to give you an update of how is the real estate market performing. Maybe your house is sitting on the market, maybe you're thinking about buying or moving into Sienna. This is going to help you understand what's happening so you can make an educated decision about what you want to do. Before we get into the local numbers, here's 30 seconds of context that explains everything that you're about to see. So mortgage rates just dropped to 5.99% earlier this year in February. This was the most affordable financing buyers had seen in a while. Then the conflict with Iran escalated, oil prices spiked, inflation fears came back, and then the rates jumped almost up to 7% overnight. Since then, they've pulled back. I think we're sitting at about 6.3% right now, but that swing rattled a lot of buyer confidence, and it shows up in lots of the metrics that you're gonna see in Sienna this month. So let's start with the inventory. Inventory is among the highest levels of active listings we've seen in Sienna. Across Houston, it's the highest level it's been in 25 years. Currently, we have 335 homes on the market right now. And at the current pace of sales that we have, that's 7.1 months of inventory. 6 months is basically the textbook line between a balanced market and a buyer's market. So Sienna is now past that. We are officially in a buyer's market. Now let's talk about price, because this is really where I want you to pay attention, because the numbers, honestly, they can be a little misleading if you only look at one of them. So we're gonna look at two of them, the median price and the average sales price. The median sales price this March came in at $499,990. That's up 11% from a year ago. So when you just look at that, it sounds like prices are going up, right? Well, here is what's actually happening. A year ago, 30% of all the homes sold in Sienna were priced above $700,000. This March, that number dropped to just 10%. So basically, if we're gonna consider that the luxury market, it has gone quiet. But at the same time, the $500,000 to $700,000 range has completely taken over. It jumped from 11% in sales last year to 38% this year. So the median went up because of where the sales happened, not because every home in Sienna appreciated 11%. So the average sales price actually tells the other side. What happened there was it dropped from last year from $623 down to $555,000 this year. Price per square foot is the cleanest signal for us to really understand. It dropped from an average of $184 a square foot down to $180 year over year. So that's the number that tells you what the market is actually paying for space, and it's moving in a downward direction. So another thing to do is if you zoom out to Q1 as a whole, not just March, the average sales price came in at $563,000. That's down from $587,000 last year, which is now a drop of 4.2%. Now, I know that a 4.2% doesn't sound like a lot, but this is the first time I've ever seen it since I've been doing this where we had even anywhat of a drop in the average sales price. But here's what makes it significant. Every other time the Sienna prices decline in the past history, it was followed by a runaway quick spike. In 2024, prices dropped after the 2023 peak in prices. So there was an obvious reason for that. This time, prices are down 4.2% off a moderate stable year. There was no spike to correct from. That's the first time that I've seen this pattern in Sienna, and it tells me that the market is definitely softening a little bit here. We'll see how the rest of the year plays out. Q2 has always typically been our strongest part of the year, so that's gonna really help reinforce the prices in a good way or a bad way. We'll see. Now, let's look at days to sell. In Q1 of 2022, it only took 42 days to sell your home. Q1 2023, it jumped to 101. That's basically when the interest rates went up, and then pulled back to 87 days in 2024. Then we had an average of 121 days in 2025, and now it's 124 days in Q1 of 2026 to sell your home. What that means is we are 3 times times slower than we were 3 years ago. Now, one other really good metric to look at is the original list to sales price ratio. That'll help bring it all together. That means what did someone originally listed for, and then what did it actually land at? Not what was the last listed price and what it landed at. Sienna sellers got 97.4 cents on the dollar off their asking price in 2024. Last year, it was 96%. This March, it was 94.3%. So what that means is today, on average, if you list at $600,000, you're statistically gonna close around $566,000. And what it looks like is that gap has widened every single year. So here's the straight talk on what all of this means. If you're a seller in Sienna, the market's still moving. 47 homes closed here in March, about flat with where it was last year. But now you're competing amongst the highest inventory levels this community has seen in years. Homes are taking 3 times as long to sell as they were in 2022. And buyers are negotiating harder off that original price every single year. So the seller's winning right now. You gotta price it correctly from day one. The more turnkey your home can be, the better. And just again, make sure you're pricing it right from week one. That seems to be the only strategy that works. If you're a buyer, the $500,000 to $700,000 range is where the market's at right now. Most active. That's 38% of all the sales. You have inventory, you have time, the rates are now dropping again. And sellers know where the market's at. So you probably have a lot better negotiating terms. So currently you have this window of high supply and improving affordability. This is a great time if you're thinking about buying. And I know every realtor says the exact same thing, but this really is one of those times. What would make it not a good time is if inventory started coming off the market and rates got even lower. That means it's gonna bring more buyers into the market, and then you're gonna have more competition, which typically is gonna be a great thing for sellers because prices are gonna go up and you as a buyer are gonna pay more. All that to say, that is your Sienna market update for March of 2026. If you wanna know what these numbers mean for your specific home, whether you're thinking about listing, if you're looking to buy, or you just want an honest read on what your property's worth, always feel free to reach us at our website, theadamsgrouptx.com. We'd love to help any way we can. Otherwise, I'm Ryan Adams with the Adams Group at Real Broker. We will see you next month.